All right, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Everybody, I don't think there's anybody here yet. Anyway, I'm just chirping. Give me one sec. Let's find out where I am. Should have left my glasses on. There I go. All right, we got one onlooker. Perfect. Get that down. Oops. The light is not the best right there. Let's do that. There. Perfect. That'll work. It's weird when I set it up, it doesn't, that light doesn't come into play on my iPad, so all good. Rectified. Actually, that works even better that way. See, Dawn? Triangulation. Not really, but I'll work on that one. Okay, I'm just going to park this guy. Then I'm going to go wash my hands. Then we're going to do yet another Meatless Monday. Sponsored by Stoke Market here in Kimberley. Everything you see here, except for the bocconcini, oh, what are the little fluffies, came from Stoke. So you can, everything you see here, you can get there. What a concept. One-stop shopping. So this is a little spin on, oh, let's have a beverage. I need a beverage. One of those little scrambly days again. Oh, okay, now I'm all centered. Okay, so Caprese salad. Traditionally done with tomato, like little either heirloom tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whole Romas, whatever you want. Cherry tomatoes, bocconcini, olive oil, reduced balsamic, salt and pepper, basil. Straightforward stuff. Super easy, super quick. I'm not good with easy or quick. Well, I'm good with quick. I'm good with lazy. But this is a spin on a caprese that is using roasted beets instead. So the beets are super sweet. You roast them in their skin. They took, let's go 45 minutes at 375. Toss them with some olive oil and some salt into the oven uncovered. Roast them off. Sorry, into the oven covered. Roast them off. 45 minutes or until they have a little give. Pull them out, and then seal up. Dump into a bowl. Seal it up in plastic film, so it makes steam and sweats, and it'll blister that skin right off. It'll make them super easy to peel. So that's the trick there. Much like you do if you're roasting off peppers. You put them on the fire, you pull them off, you put them in a bowl, you put the plastic film on, you sweat them or throw them in a bag, whatever you want to do. Okay? Same kind of idea. So today we're using gold beets, striped beets. Striped beets, that was like the three I could find in the pile. They weren't the prettiest, but all this stuff is organic, so I'm not worried about pretty when it comes to organic stuff. Hence my basil. My basil's not holding up too good, but it's going to work. And it's all natural. It's all organic. And then we got red beets too. Okay. Bocconcini, I always opt for the cocktail size because I don't have to manipulate it that way. I don't have to cut it up into wedges. Don't have to do any of that stuff. So for this kind of application, cocktail size bocconcini, but not a deal breaker. Use what you got. I already mentioned basil and fiddleheads. In Quebec, there are tête de violon. Violin heads. So these guys are the tips of ferns. There's an actual, somewhere in here, there is a picture perfect. Where are you? Where'd you go? Oh man, I'm gonna find them right at the end. There's a picture perfect one. All right, let's stand around and watch me find what may or may not be in here anymore. Well, let's find this guy. Here he is. This guy's picture perfect. That is a perfect fiddlehead. Looks like a treble clef. So these guys are awesome. They're kind of a cross between a bean, a green bean, and asparagus. So in a fern, they're the top. They're only around here for a couple weeks, and these ones are wild picked, fully organic. They're only around for a couple weeks, so the season's super short. If you want to go foraging for them, fill your boots. You can blanch them, freeze them down. That's perfectly acceptable. I'm going to use these fresh today, but I am going to give them a quick blanch just to take some of that, little bit of that. They're not tough by any stretch of the imagination, but I want it to kind of all blend in together with the salad that I'm doing. So I've got a pot of boiling water right here. Yeah, it's still boiling. Perfect. And I'm going to give these guys a quick blanch. But the first thing I'm going to do... Oh, let's finish up mise. That's the first thing I'm going to do is finish up mise. So, like the standard Caprese, olive oil. Salt. I'm going to use that smoked salt I did the other day. I got some nice hickory smoked salt. I'm going to use a bit of that. And instead of balsamic, you know what? I know I spec balsamic on the description of what you're going to need. But this afternoon, I'm starting to do my mise. I'm like, you know what would be better? I've got cider vinegar here. So apples and beets go wicked together. So what I did was this started out as a cup and a half of cider vinegar. I reduced it down over the course of probably half an hour. Put your friggin' hood on. That will save you. Reduce it down for a half an hour until I've got maybe 4 tablespoons left. Then I added some cane sugar to it just to kind of balance it out. I'm trying to mimic that balsamic, okay? Added some cane sugar to it and took a couple slices of fresh ginger and steeped that in there as well. So this is going to be our balsamic instead of using balsamic. And it is wicked. It is going to be so awesome with this. So that's off to the side. You know what I'm going to do? Just so I can get rid of that pot. I'm just going to strain this off. No, I don't need to get rid of mise. I'm going to strain it off. I'm going to do it right here. Because I'm not really cooking today. I'm just assembling. Okay, so I'm just going to strain that through a fine mesh sieve. Okay. And I'm going to reserve this off to the side. We'll put that with the rest of our mise. And this is going over here. The bok it doesn't have much flavor. It's got great texture, but not a ton of flavor. So let's do a little marinade. I'm going to marinate my bok. I'm just going to dump it into a little baggie. I've drained the whey out of it. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil into it. And I'm going to, you know what? I was going to use this. I confit some garlic yesterday. So good thing I only put a little bit of olive oil into there. So what I've got here is olive oil and garlic that I cooked sous vide for about 4.5 hours while I was doing other stuff in the sous vide. Figured, why not? It's an economy of savings. So I'm going to use that oil in with the bok. And that's the only time I'm going to use this oil. Because I don't want this whole thing tasting like garlic. But the odd component of it tasting like garlic absolutely works. Okay, so I'm going to put that out of my mind now. Just going to take the air out of this. Give it a shmush. So that's just going to marinate in friggin' garlic olive oil. If you got other flavored oils, basil oil would work too. That would absolutely work. So I'm just going to park these dudes right where the fiddleheads were. Fiddleheads, I'm going to give them a blanch. I've cleaned them. You'll see when you buy them fresh, there's going to be like a little black tip on them. That's absolutely normal. That's just what happens to them. They kind of oxidize after a bit. I took scissors or shears, whatever, snip them off. Clean them up. Give them a little soak. You'll get rid of all those little fronds because they are ferns. So in here, in the little head here, is actually little fern leaves. Okay, all nice and tightly bound. So they will start to darken up after a while too. But let's get these guys. I just got boiling salted water here, salted like the ocean. And I'm going to get those guys in. I'm going to crank my heat up because I want to bring that back up. And I'm going to give them a little longer than a blanch. I'm going to give them probably a couple minutes. And then we're going to shock them. Actually, I can't start throwing crap in there. I need that to strain off my fiddleheads. Okay? So we'll give them a couple minutes. As soon as they come back up to the boil, which is happening shortly, I'm going to give it like a minute and a half, 2 minutes on top of that. And that's it. That's all. So we got our roasted beets. We talked about that. Talked about our awesome balsamic, our cider vinegar. Cider vinegar reduction. Treat it kind of like a simple syrup. I'm still talking about the cider reduction here, cider vinegar. Treat it like a simple syrup. So if you've got 4 tablespoons of cider reduced down, use probably a couple tablespoons of cane sugar into that, and then that'll give you some good balance. Like it's pretty awesome. It's still got that cider taste to it, but it just takes that back of the throat edge off of it. Okay. So honestly, we're getting pretty close. I'm gonna give that another minute. What else can we do here? That's about it for now. I'm gonna actually abbreviate that. There's my mic hitting my stove. Okay, and I'm going to drain this off. That's what we can talk about. As you're sweating down your beets, in the bottom of that bowl that you're using, there's going to be lots of goodness in there. I'm not going to use this stuff today, but I can guarantee it's going to come up at some point. So that's just like concentrated beet juice from all the purged liquids out of the beets. So I'm going to use that for something. I'm going to make something out of that. Don't throw that stuff out. That stuff's money. Okay, let's get our fiddleheads shocked. Got my cold water running. Yeah, I just want to get these cooled right off so they quit cooking, okay? I don't want to run the water right on top of them because it kind of beats the shit out of them. So I'm just kind of holding the water off to the side. Okay, let's build a Caprese. Let's do, you know what, I'm going to pull, that's why I brought this guy out. Because I don't want to stain the crap out of my board. Oops, better not do that. Hey, it's been a while since I've melted a friggin' cutting board on TV. That's awesome, that's probably since the 3rd show. Let's do, I'm going to move the smoked salt out of the way. I'm going to pull my Mies off frame here, just beside me. I'm going to stack that lovely smelling melted board onto here. If Renata's watching, see, it still happens, Renata. At least it wasn't a plastic bag this time. Okay. And let's cut some beets up. Let's put this here. So I'm going to build everything right into the bowl. I know some of these gold beets don't look quite gold because they were resting up against the red beets. I batched these off all in one shot. In a perfect world, you'd do it separately. And you just kind of want a little better than bite size. I just kind of wedge them. The bigger ones you can do in the sixths. Okay, so there's a couple goldies. I'm just going to lay these out. This is one you're going to eat with your eyes first. So spend the time on the plating. It's still going to be rustic, but rustic doesn't mean ugly. Okay, so there's my golds. Let's do my striped. Aren't even going to look striped because I freaking, well, you can kind of see them. Let's do this guy. These guys more look, they're, when you pick them up, what the hell's going on with that one? Let's do this one. they look almost top shaped, like they're pretty flat. Unless you can find the baby ones. Baby ones are the bomb. So yeah, if you can do these ones separate. We're going to park these guys in between here. So the reason you can get away without doing a vinaigrette with this is because the sugar component is actually your beets. So we're adding oil, we're adding vinegar, and the sugar is the star of the show. And then let's make our hands all red. I am going to strategically pick this one and this one and figure out if you can see why. Because they're damn near identical. Okay. Oh, that is beautiful. You know what? I love cooked beets, roasted beets, but I cannot stand pickled beets. They're just a little too earthy for me. Okay, and we're going to plow these guys into the middle. Just make it pretty. Rustic doesn't have to be ugly. You can see all the care and attention I'm spending on this right now. Okay. And red stained fingertips. Obviously when you're peeling them, wear gloves. Unless you don't mind looking like you came from a murder scene. I always glove up when I'm peeling them off. And they're super easy to peel. Just take the edge of your knife, hold the beet, and just drag it. You don't have to cut it. That's why you roast them off with the skin on first. Don't, otherwise you lose too much beet. And you get way more flavor out of the skin. Skin is money. It's like baked potato. The jacket's the best part of a baked potato. Okay, and these guys, here's my fiddleheads. I'm going to put them in this bowl. And I'm just going to give these a little hit of olive oil before I put them in. Just to give them a little gloss. And I'm going to give them a bit of smoked salt too. Oh, that smoked salt smells so good. So the fiddleheads are the only component of this I'm going to actually season right now, other than the bach. So fiddleheads and bach, leave your beets alone. Okay, and then let's get these guys going around the outside. Oh, this is going to look the bomb. And I preach odd numbers, but I ain't counting this because I've already set the groundwork. We are all good. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Another little wipe. Okay. Let's bring out our cheese. This, I kind of want to keep that light up against the dark, okay? And I think probably this volume, 1, 2, 5. Now we're going to take 7. 3, 6, 7, and then I'll arrange them here in a sec. That was kind of the original plan. Got some threads from my beet. Okay, try not to manipulate too much because you're going to dye your bach. Okay, then we're going to take some olive oil. We're going to go around the outside on top of those beets. And I probably threw 2 tablespoons at that because that's about all I had left in that bottle, and that bottle is damn near tapped. I wish you would sit better, you. I'm going to hide it with basil. And basil. Damn near drop that all over the place. Okay. Here's our reduced cider vinegar. And we're going to drizzle that. Oh, look at that. That is going to be so freaking good. And that didn't take much at all, like maybe a teaspoon. And I'll try and find some uncrappy basil. I just leave it, I'll do like kind of just a bundle in the middle. And then you can kind of pull it apart yourself. Let's find a bitter leaf here to balance that guy out. Know what I mean? Or you can do a chiffonade. You can do all kinds of different stuff. But I'm just going to kind of do that. And that salad, you can use it, treat it as a salad, treat it as an appetizer with some crusty bread. It is beautiful. It's absolutely awesome. So there we go. There's our roasted beet caprese. If you want it, no, you know what? I like that color. I like that nice and fresh. You could do a little balsamic drizzle on there, take away a little bit less of the cider, but honestly, I think that looks just perfect. So there we go. That's just an awesome little salad. Super cheap. The beets at Stoke were $2.99 a pound, like nothing at all, and they get even cheaper in the fall. So yeah, give it a shot. It's a great side. Wicked with steak. Absolutely the bomb with steak. So there we go. And I am done here. I'm going to be back on at 5 o'clock. We're going to do that draw for the Cobb's free bread for a year. And yeah. And then Wednesday we're doing tuna. Ahi tuna. Ocean-wise ahi tuna. We're going to do a deconstructed kind of California roll thing. I'm going to pick up some avocado and I've got some nori. So we're going to stack up. Big old salmon steak on top. So there we go. Cheers. We'll see you back here in about 40 minutes. All right. Thanks, guys.